up? Welcome to this week's postpartum support group. Different background today. I'm actually at my parents' in Tulsa, Oklahoma, so that's why I'm a little bit late jumping on. I'm trying to figure out what room I can record in best and get everybody ushered out of the house. So I have quiet workspace. And I'm here for Thanksgiving, and it's Thanksgiving weekend, and I've seen with my own family how things can, pop up, and I really want to talk about like boundaries, particularly boundaries with family, but also just ways to like have good mental health during these times. I know it can be hectic and crazy. Like I said, I'm in Oklahoma, and I actually live in Colorado, so people, and it's an election year, so there's political conversations. And I want to share ways that I'm navigating it and ways that also I wish I had navigated things. When I was younger and when my kids were younger. I saw a post last night that kind of sparked this for me of, someone's talking about how they're like no one's allowed to hold their newborn baby. Even if it wasn't a newborn and it's just like a baby under 1 year, I think that's fully acceptable. Like, you're the parent, and if you don't want your baby who has very low immunity to be passed around on the holidays and be kissed and be spreading all of these germs and people from all these places, like, that's fine. And I want to remind you, no is a full sentence. You are allowed to just say, nope, I'm actually not passing my baby. I saw some mom comment in the comments to wear your baby. I know for me, I would always be like, oh, we gotta go feed. And that would also give me a break from being around all the people, because that can feel like a lot when you're postpartum. And what was the other thing? Let's take a minute to just like meditate, get grounded for a quick sec. I even meditate, just like take a few breaths and be here. I gotta put my hair up, y'all. I'm sweaty. Just finding a comfortable seat, or if you want to lay down, that is cool too. Just finding anywhere that's comfortable for you. Maybe putting your hands to your heart or on your legs, reminding yourself, I am here, I am present, I am grounded. Hi from Australia, y'all. What's up? Okay. Okay. So we're just taking some deep breaths. Or maybe you're reminding yourself that you're safe, you're free to be. When we get around family again, our inner child and our wounds from, our teenage years and even our early 20s might tend to come out. And so recognizing if that is the case, if you're having anger come up, or anxiety or frustration with, any situation you might be in, just knowing that you're safe. What's your life about? It is about setting boundaries with family and good mental health practices as we go into the holidays and as we've passed this one holiday, as Thanksgiving in America. So hopefully that makes me feel better. I hope that made some of you feel better too. But yeah, boundaries. So it's okay. Let's do this guy. It is fully okay it's fully safe for not everyone to like you. And I think that's the biggest hurdle with setting boundaries sometimes, is that we think, oh, people aren't gonna like us and people are gonna be mad at us. And especially, it took me like having kids to really not care. Like, honestly, my kids come before anything. So if you don't like me and you think I'm a bitch, and because I'm setting a boundary for my kids and my kids' safety, I don't really care. And so, but even if you're on here and you don't have kids, What's for dinner? It is currently noon here, so nothing. I'm not sure. Probably going out to eat. Thank you, Mamu. Okay. How do I? Sorry, guys. I want to put. I'm gonna put some people in the comments in timeout. Okay. Yeah, I like the statement about people not liking you. Yeah, we like think that you know, it's not safe for people not to like us, or we're, and this comes from a very, I want to say feral, that's not the right word. Like when we lived in communities, when we lived in tribes and villages, like it wasn't safe to not be liked because you could be outcast and you could be away from the resources of a village where everyone's working communally. You're doing your part, and you know, you give and get. So there, it's a very primal fear that we have of not being liked, but we have to remember, like, now in these times, it really isn't a huge, it's not going to make or break like our life if someone doesn't like us. It is actually safe to not be liked. As uncomfortable as it can be, and I actually did it, my last video is on this, like, it's okay for someone to be upset with you. It's okay for someone to not like you. You've gotta, and part of this is like you need to like yourself, because if you're looking to others for outside, to other people for your validation, then you're going to be in this like mental trap that you're not going to be able to escape, because you're always trying to people please, and trying for everyone's approval, trying to get everyone's approval. And it's statistically impossible to have everyone like you. What's that saying? You can be the juiciest peach in the world, and there's still going to be someone who doesn't like peaches. So I think really accepting that not everyone is going to like us is good, and accepting that while it may be uncomfortable for particularly family to be mad at us for setting a boundary, like not letting your baby be passed around for kisses and germs during holidays, they'll get over it. And you've got, at the end of the day, got to do what's the best thing for you and your baby. How are you doing? I'm doing good. And it's interesting that I set a boundary this morning because, again, I'm in Oklahoma, where it's a very red state, and lots of family members have political opinions that don't agree with mine, which is fine. We're allowed to disagree, I guess. But, you know, there's people in my family talking about they don't understand why people would need a mental health day after the election, when this is the election that Trump was elected. I was one of those people. I had a really hard time. It was a loss of hope for me. And regardless, though, I just said, can we not talk about politics before noon? And really just, can we not talk about politics at all? You are allowed to speak up and say, hey, can we not talk about this? Can we find any other thing to talk about besides fucking politics, please? And then they all were quiet, and that felt really good. And it's hard whenever it's your elders too, because you feel like, I don't want to be disrespectful, but at the same time, we are allowed to set boundaries. You are allowed to set boundaries. And yeah, it's okay. Hi, I'm a new subscriber. Welcome, Queen World. I love your name. Looking so cute. Thank you. Fit check. I'm doing laundry, so I had to like just throw in a cute little, I would have done this like that if I had more time. We'll do a quick little fit check. Okay. Barefoot, obviously, wearing a little skirt my mom made me. And then this is a little necklace thing. Okay. And my little empowered necklace. Fresh out of the shower, no makeup as usual, hair up. Is that, I'm from India. Where are you from? America. But I am Pakistani and I would love to go to India. I've never been. And tell me, like, people that are, I've seen Australia and India, like, what are your, like, do you guys have these outside of America, like these political conversations? I'm assuming there are. Thank you, Queen. Yeah, what do these conversations look like for you guys? Like, do you have, you know, obviously everyone has familial conflicts. Like, do you have any questions on how to deal with those or how to set boundaries? Open to new friendship, positive vibes only. Yeah. And I'm okay to speak about politics. I would just like it to be done in a respectful way on both sides. So if you're gonna sit here and trash talk someone for needing a mental health day after an election, that's not really a positive vibe for me. So I'm gonna set that boundary. And yeah, and this is like part of fostering good mental health, which is all about what my course Heal Your Shit is about, which is half off right now. It's only $99, so jump on that. And that's actually what Module 5 is all about boundary setting and not trying to not feel like an asshole whenever you are setting boundaries. And because that's our thing, right? It's so hard to feel like people dislike you, but it is safe to be disliked. It is safe to also be uncomfortable. It's safe to speak up. I think this is such a thing. Like, people get sick all the time, right? And I do think that sickness can just spring out of nowhere, but it can also partially be because something in our energy is creating this like blockage in our body, or our body's holding on to tension or anger or resentment, and it manifests in physical disease. And I think a lot of people with this like thyroid issue, which, you know, we're just now hearing a lot about, is due to people not speaking up. And I just want to remind you, like, you're allowed to speak up, even if you are not an elder and you're speaking up to elders. Like, that's all right. In India, the left and right often live on the extremes, leaving couples with opposing political views working overtime to find common ground. That would be really hard to be in a relationship with someone that, yeah, you have like different political views, and I don't think I would be able to personally. But yeah, so I don't know if I can speak to that, because my advice would be like, just find someone else. And I'm gonna switch this angle and get better lighting here. Let's see. Without my camera falling. Let's see. Better? Yeah, we don't have the pretty art in the back, but that's okay. I guess we have one pretty art piece. Okay, that can be there. Okay, so boundaries. And this really involves liking yourself. So if you don't have a relationship with yourself, I'd say that's the first step. You've gotta get to know yourself. Find your areas for growth. Find the areas that you really enjoy about yourself, that you really like about yourself, and double down on those. And know that just because you maybe, like for me, for a long time, the way that I reacted in my anger was something that I thought made me bad, or made me a shitty person, or like I can't be a healer and be angry, or like I can't be a healer and have road rage. And it's not true. Like, it's okay. I can be, and I've since come leaps and bounds working on my anger, because I see it as an area of growth and not like a detriment to me, and not something that makes me bad, but it's just an area I have to work on, and a place where I can grow, and there's opportunity for growth there. So it's really this like reframing of, I'm a bad person, to like, I'm working on this and I'm not perfect and I'm human and it's okay, as long as I'm bringing awareness to the ways where I'm not reacting in a way that I want to, where I may be reacting instead of responding. I was talking to a friend last night too about, like, she said she got really angry and even had like a tantrum being around her family. Again, this like inner child stuff can come up. Where are you from? Which country? Pakistan. Well, I'm from America, but I'm Pakistani, and my last name is German, even though I'm like probably 1/20th German. Do you chat on Instagram to have combo on personal issues similar to you? Chat on Instagram to have a combo on personal issues similar to you. We can, but I'm also like, I also do healing sessions, which are available right now, and you can find that through my Instagram link, or I'm sure it's linked in my YouTubes. Thank you, love from India. Sorry guys, I'm working on Hindi, but I can't read it yet. Okay. Caught up on the comments. Let me take a drink of water. We're talking about anger. So anger, I love this, like in therapy, they say like mad isn't bad. And I love that expression, because you're not a bad person because you feel emotion, because you feel anger. I think the problem comes whenever you, whenever we like tell ourselves that we're bad and we're trying to suppress our anger, and the more that you're just stuffing it down, again, like our emotions are gonna get stuck in our body, and it's gonna it's going to manifest in like physical discomfort. It might be like I get a tight neck, and sometimes I need to like stretch my neck. Not saying this is like all the time and it's all of your physical ailments are like all related to things, but I think a lot of the times it is related to something emotional, or something that we're stuffing down, and it's, you know, you're gonna stuff it down and it's gonna get stuck in your body. Wow, what is that? A little birdie just flew into the tree by me. Yeah, so maybe take, like, we'll do a little exercise real quick. It's also part of healing. Mama said, what about combo to get to know each other? That's also part of healing. Yeah, I mean, that's totally cool. And I think getting to know me is really getting in my content and seeing that. And then, yeah, sharing your content with me, and, you know, seeing if we have like similarities. Okay, I'm gonna try to not look at the comments for a minute. Lee Hoffman, what do you do for a living? So I'm a postpartum doula. I work part-time in corporate America. I don't say where. But yeah, I have my healing business and my YouTube. I'm now monetized, so I make money from this. Again, I'm a postpartum doula, so I get money from that, and my part-time income, and then my income from my business, which is like courses and healing sessions. I used to do tarot readings, but I don't really do those anymore. I have an oracle deck that I made called the Rainbow Deck. I'm working on a cookbook right now, so yeah, I kind of have a lot of plates spinning in the air, which is the way I like it. So let's do an exercise with our anger. So I learned this from therapy, but our anger is a part of us. It doesn't have to be the whole encompassing of us, right? So what is our anger coming up to show us? Like, our anger has a purpose. Just thinking that we're bad because we have anger, that's not really going to serve you and your growth. So what is this anger trying to show me? What is this anger trying to communicate with me? What is this anger's job? For me, a lot of the time, my anger shows up for this activist part of me. I do feel such a strong sense of like activism, and especially in the workplace. This is why I work part-time in corporate America. I find this anger part of me is very related to the activism part of me. And so when I'm angry, like that, I actually use that as my fuel. Like, what is this showing me? Like, what is this wanting me to change? What makes me mad? because whatever makes you mad is probably what you are here to change or like bring awareness to. Trying to think. So yeah, just take a minute and write that down. You can pause the video or we'll just leave a little pause. Not so photogenic. We're all photogenic. I'll talk about this too, just to address like comments that I get a lot of the time, like, oh, well, you don't need makeup, like you're pretty without makeup. But every person has insecurities. Every person has insecurities. I used to really focus on my dark circles. I couldn't even go to class in college without makeup on. And then I did psilocybin mushrooms, psychedelic mushrooms for the first time. And I was like, wow, I'm like wearing a mask every day. And I was like, I'm not letting people see the real me, and I'm not comfortable with the real me, which is again, like part of our physical looks. You do have to be comfortable. That's part of loving ourselves, right? Like accepting what we look like, which I know people are going to be like, easy for you to say, you're da 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 da. And yes, but I'm also like, even Bella Hadid, you know, the most beautiful people in the world have insecurities, and they still can look in the mirror and pick apart the things that they don't like about themselves. So this is another way to foster that self-love and that mental health with yourself, is looking in the mirror. If you do look in the mirror, you're not looking at things to pick apart about yourself. You're saying, wow, for me, it's my eyes. I like my butt. So and I can get critical about things like my stomach or my nose, or, you know, I'm not going to go through the laundry list, but I have things that I could focus on that I don't like about myself. So if that is something for you, look at, what do I like about myself? What can I focus on that I do like about myself, and what can like enhance those features? So like for me, for eyes, it's like mascara. Cool if I drop in your Insta DMs healing session of getting to know each other. Sure, Mamu. Damn, those eyes. Yeah, I know, it's my favorite feature about myself. But yeah, I think that that like fostering that part, it's external, it's also internal. It's liking things about your physical appearance. It's also, or just accepting them. For a long time, it was like, I have to love my body. I have to love my body, particularly, you know, this is a postpartum support group. So for a long time, it was like, I have to like what I look like post-birth, and I didn't. And so for a long time, I just covered up my mirror, because I'm like, I can't say anything nice to my body right now. I can't find anything that I like, that I recognize. So we're just gonna cover up the mirror altogether. And that worked for me. And then I, you know, at some point got more comfortable, and I could take the paper down, which was fine. And sorry, like it's a lot to just talk and talk. I'm gonna like zone out for a second. What other practices for liking yourself? I think the parts homework that I get in therapy is really good. Like not just looking at the parts of you that maybe get angry, but maybe parts of you who get resentful. Like, what is your resentment trying to show you? These are all parts of ourselves that are trying to communicate with us. And the more that we try to like push that down, the more that we're going to actually be fostering self-hatred and self-loathing, which is not great for our mental health. So seeing that as an area of growth, seeing that as, where can I improve? Where can I be kinder to myself? Which is, again, all about what Heal Your Shit is about. It's about fostering this kindness towards ourselves, because we're so used to finding flaws in ourselves. Again, it comes back to this primal thing of like, I can't let people see this about me, because they're not going to like me, and then I'll be outcast. Hang on, let me let my brother in here. I am recording. But you can be loud, it's okay. Means a lot. Thank you very much. You're beautiful. Lower the camera a little. Lower the camera a little. Why? Sorry, my brother's like, this is like part of my boundary setting. Okay, are you saying lower the camera to be creepy and see my legs or what? Like, hi, your brother. Yay, he's my twin brother. This is like something that I've really struggled with. Like, people, because of my looks, I do get creepy people want to be creepy and they'll stare, and I will now stare back. You're staring at me, I'm gonna look at you that way too. And everybody's gone.
Where'd they go?
Gathering place.
Everybody?
Yeah.
Ah.
And I think as women, particularly just as women in the world, we do have to set these boundaries with other people and like expect people to treat us a certain way. One of my mentors, Amanda Francis, talks about like how she'll have this like, I'm not fuck withable, you cannot fuck with me energy. And I like to do that too. I'll like either wear a scarf and that's like protecting me, I visualize it protecting me, or I'll be in a like, you can just energetically have a little bubble around you and be like, I'm safe, I'm protected. If I'm wearing, like, particularly in the summer, if I'm wearing, you know, a tank top and like shorts, I'll literally bring a flannel with me and just be able to cover up if people are being creepy. But you're allowed to set those boundaries too. Hi, Kay. That's a boundary too that you can set, is like not being fuck withable and not allowing people to, particularly men when we're women, to intimidate you into checking you out and being creepy. Like, you're allowed to, again, be disliked, and who the fuck cares if a creepy person, like, you're not letting them check you out. I think that's fine. More power to you. Thanks. Okay, so we did the anger exercise of like, what's this anger teaching me? And if anger is not your thing, like frustration, like I said, resentment, I'm trying to think of other things, sadness, grief. If you are someone, hi Nai, it's okay. If you are someone that's moving through grief, you can sit with me, it's okay. I'm gonna show me your game.
This is Mario versus Donkey Kong.
Oh yeah. Do you have a short temper? I used to really have a short temper. And again, I've worked through it. I used to have really, really bad road rage. Like, I used to have a 45-minute commute when I was a cannabis genetics scientist. And I eventually got to the point where I'm like, this is just 45 minutes of stress. I'm trying to get there as fast as I can and beat everybody, and I'm getting in fights on the road with people, and that's not like helpful, and that's not gonna like get me home safe to my kids. Will you scooch you a little bit? And so I started just getting in the slow lane, putting on my cruise control, and just no music, and just meditating, like being in a meditative state as I'm driving. And that was really the first step to curing my short temperness. It definitely still comes out. Yeah.
I wanna have some fruit.
Okay, go check in the fridge. There's apples in that drawer. Here, we'll go over here. Let me see. Let's see. We'll go somewhere where it's a little quieter. Okay. This is my brother's room right now, but this lighting is good at the desk. Okay. Okay. So, I really like this art. This is my favorite art in the whole house. Okay. Yeah, so it's taken me years. I mean, that was 2018, 19, 20. And so it's taken me, 4 or 5 years to really feel like I'm not so short-tempered anymore. I'm also on an SSRI, which is an antidepressant, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor. My friend Dr. Miyabe Shield's book actually discusses how like I personally, from reading their work, I'm just like, is it a placebo effect? But I do find that it does help me with my short-temperedness. That's why I got on it. My postpartum rage was crazy, and it just made me feel like an insane person. So, let's see, my road rage is bad. If I find out today my cure might be you, how do I handle that? If I find out. Love from Indonesia. Hi. I find out today my cure might be you. Mamu, again, I mean, that might be like my content. I have a lot of content on road rage from like, again, probably 2 years ago that you can like check out and look at. But it's again, this process of like being kind to yourself, being gentle with yourself. Again, Heal Your Shit is 50% off. Once I post this, I'll put that link in the description box. But you can also go to my YouTube, and it's in the last 4 or 5 videos at the top. That is a practice on how to forgive yourself, because a lot of the time, again, we think being mad is bad, our short temper is bad, and we have to just accept that part of ourselves. Who is that? Carl Rogers that said the curious paradox is that we have to accept ourselves and then we can change. So accepting that about ourselves, like I do have a short temper, I do have road rage, and that's okay. And I'm willing to look at that and change. That is what my course is helping you to do. It's for people who want to grow. It's for people who want to expand their opportunity to like be kind to themselves and feel like a good person, you know, even if, I don't know, what is good and bad even, but like, I think being a good person is also being kind to yourself and not being a dick to yourself, because the more that you talk like shit to yourself, the more that you're going to talk like shit to others. So it's fostering this sense of self-care and acceptance of ourselves so that we can change. It's like looking at our past and seeing what we need to forgive ourselves or maybe forgive other people for. How are we setting boundaries? Why are we not setting boundaries? Because we want to be liked. Why do we feel this need to be liked when really, if we just like ourselves, we don't really need everybody else to like us. We don't need this external approval. So it's fostering this self-love to not need this external approval and all of these people-pleasing tendency that make us not want to set boundaries. Yeah. All right, Alexandre, we're being creepy, so you get to be reported. Okay, guys, don't be fucking creepy, please. I'm here to like spread healing and love and help people that are here to grow and want to grow on their path. If you're being creepy, I'm kicking you the fuck out. Please don't be weird and creepy, y'all. This is a boundary I'm setting, and I've actually never even set it like within my public spaces. And now I'm gonna get serious about blocking people that are being creepy, reporting people being creepy, kicking you out of my fucking lives. Don't be weird, don't be creepy. I don't have the fucking patience for it. I'm here to help people heal. If you're here to be creepy and ask to see my legs, get the fuck out. Respectfully. And on that note, let's all take a little, I'm so sorry I came in your room.
Okay.
On that note, we'll just close out, and I hope that you seeing me set boundaries too can help you set boundaries and not feel like you're being a bitch or an asshole or whatever, because we get to set boundaries. We get to feel safe, particularly again as women in the world. We get to feel safe. If you need especially, like, again, this is a postpartum support group. So for people being creepy at you while you're breastfeeding, you can say, hey, what are you looking at? Would you like to take a picture? You can like be like, there's a space to be bitchy where it's a protection mechanism for you. You're allowed to say when you feel unsafe and when you feel uncomfortable. That is okay. Okay. So, just taking a breath, giving yourself credit for showing up today. If you're here for the self-growth, thank you. If you're here being creepy, get out. And again, like, where can you accept yourself a little bit more today? Where can you be a little bit kinder to yourself? Where can you see an area for growth as just that, an area for growth, and not as a detriment to you, to yourself? Because ultimately, the kinder we can be to ourselves, the kinder that we can be outwardly, and the better we're going to make the world. So isn't that the goal of like being alive? And thank you for being here. Again, Heal Your Shit is half off for the holidays. So that link will be in the description. Actually, I'm like, can I start a poll, start a Q&A? I guess I can't add a comment here. Okay. But yeah, thank you for being here, guys. And my next, what is my next virtual one? I'll post about it in my like YouTube feed when my next virtual one will be, but I'll have 2 in December. So I know one is at the end of the month and the one is at the beginning. So again, guys, thank you for being here, and don't be so fucking hard on yourselves. You're doing great.